All right. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. So it's 2020. All right. It is 9:39 a.m. Let's head into these headlines. All right. Coronavirus. Anger grows for stranded crew on forgotten cruises. You got to remember there's still 57,000 or so crew members who work on these cruises that are still trapped on these cruise ships. The people who went on vacation on these cruises enjoyed themselves and then they eventually got transferred home, but the people who work on these cruises are still trapped on them. It says more than 2 months later, Mr. Saldana and his 29-year-old fiancee remain stranded at sea, albeit on different cruise ships. They desperately want to go home, but to their frustration, they, like tens of thousands of other cruise members, are unable to do so. So, whenever you think of cruise ships coming up, don't just think, oh, I'm going on a cruise or it's interesting to go on a cruise. There's people still stranded who either had coronavirus or didn't have coronavirus who work for cruise ships that are still stranded out there. So say a prayer for them. All right, next. Michigan dam failures forced 10,000 to evacuate and could leave one city under 9 feet of water. Raising rapidly raising water overtook dams and forced the evacuation of about 10,000 people in central Michigan, where the governor said one downtown could be under approximately 9 feet of water by Wednesday. For the second time in less than 24 hours, families living along the Tibawassee River and connected lakes in Midland County were ordered to leave home. The National Weather Service on Tuesday evening urged anyone near the river to seek higher ground following catastrophic dam failures at the Edenville Dam, about 140 miles north of Detroit, and the Sanford Dam, about 7 miles downriver. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said downtown Midland, a city of 42,000, about 8 miles downstream from the Sanford Dam, faced an especially serious flooding threat. Dow Chemicals Company's main plant sits in the city's riverbank. In the next 12 to 15 hours, downtown Midland could be under approximately 9 feet of water, the governor said. We're anticipating a historic high water level. Whitmer declared a state of emergency for Midland County and urged residents threatened by the flooding to find a place to stay safe with friends or relatives or to seek out one of the other several shelters that opened across the county. She encouraged people to do their best to take precautions to prevent the spread of coronavirus, such as wearing a face covering and observing social distancing to the best of your ability. So, pretty much, people in this county, please be safe. Stay safe in that city. Make sure if you need to evacuate, because this is a real serious situation. When lives are at risk, it's important people to pay attention and help one another. If you guys ever came to my channel before, my channel is about pretty much giving a heads up to people who need help or people who need the news. If one, life could be saved or one life could be helped by my videos about weather or about any news update, that's the point of the channel, to help others. So, welcome to the channel if you're a new subscriber. Please be aware of places that are in danger and help each other out. All right. Earthquake caused 70 million in Utah public infrastructure damage and 629 million in economic losses. The Salt Lake City of magnitude 5.7 earthquake that rattled the West Watch front happened 2 months ago, and many aftershocks since have slowly subsided in recent weeks. State officials now say they have better estimate of the damage caused by the earthquakes. Governor Gary Herbert outlined the damage from the March 18 earthquake and an 18-page letter to the Federal Emergency Management Agency on Friday. The letter, which KLC obtained Monday, will be forwarded to President Trump. In it, Herbert says there's up to $62 million in structural damage and estimates public infrastructure damage to more than $70 million. So they are also seeking to cover $18.1 million through the Stafford Disaster Relief Emergency Plan, which is a program that states and allows affected to recoup some costs through federal money. The governor issued a state of emergency on March 20th in relation to the earthquake, so that that Utah earthquake caused 70 million in damage and 629 million in economic losses. Prayer for those families who have to endure in that damage. All right, let's take a look here at the latest earthquakes. We have off of the California, Oregon area a 4.2 magnitude earthquake 28 kilometers west northwest of Petrolia, California. We also have one in the Idaho area, a magnitude 2.5, 68 kilometers east southeast of Cascade, Idaho. And then we have this big swarm of earthquakes. And they're not large earthquakes, but it's a swarm of earthquakes here in Nevada. We have 54 earthquakes here, all grouped up together in one area. So keep an eye on that if you live in the Nevada area or if you live close to California, because these earthquakes tend to pop up and sidewind you out of nowhere. Alright, pretty much quiet the rest of the area, the United States. There's an earthquake of a 4.2 magnitude in the Dominican Republic, and of course the small array of earthquakes below Puerto Rico, as you see here, magnitude 2.5, 2.9, 2.6, 2.6, 2.7. So it's pretty much lower range earthquakes below Puerto Rico. They pretty much have been getting hammered and not getting too much of a break when it comes to earthquakes down there. Please pray for them. Alright, next, here's the IR loop. Here is the infrared loop of weather that's happening across the United States right now on the eastern seaboard. We have rain coming over the Florida Panhandle. We have rain coming over Georgia, South Carolina, and heading into North Carolina and Virginia. It's going in a swirl. You'll see here in a minute, when I go over my Twitter feed, that the pattern is like a swirl. Let's see if I can draw it. The pattern is in a swirl like this, going over the East Coast. The jet stream is bringing in air and just swirling it around like this. So it's pretty much bringing more rain to the area that is already flooding. So that's not good. Please stay safe if you live on the East Coast. Avoid flooded areas. Turn around, don't drown. Please stay safe. Alright, next, here we go, my Twitter feed. And for you guys that were commenting yesterday about my Twitter feed, I pretty much share as much information as I can from the weather nerds, basically. We're all weather nerds here. Pretty much, we just have a community about weather, tornado chasers, hurricane chasers, and share as much information as we can with each other to try and save lives and stay safe. Alright, so here we go. It says, here's the GIF I was talking about, that weather swirl happening over the East Coast. It says the troposphere is especially hypnotic tonight. The Florida Keys finally getting on the drier side of the hypnotic system. Ghost east low-level water vapor imagery. So this is the water vapor image of what's happening over the East Coast. Look at all that moisture coming into the East Coast. Stay safe if you live on the East Coast and have issues with flooding. Alright, also, a man drives over 600 miles for haircut amid coronavirus pandemic. That is so crazy. You have to drive 600 miles just to get a haircut in these days because everything's closed. Alright. Also, our upper low settles in. The elongated trough setup linked to the ghost of Arthur's past, or maybe it's Jose of Florence. I don't know. This is Cranky Weather Guy, a Cranky Weather X guy on Twitter. He is one of the best weather guys to follow. If you're gonna follow any weather people, follow Cranky Weather Guy or at New Thor. He pretty much they pretty much share some of the best weather information out there. It says the repetitive process continues as the main trough lifts up into position and moisture streams in perpendicular to the mountain chain. He says, I am irritable as sin this morning. I shall leave you with all the pointless weather math at WX Twitter. scrawled over random model frames. So you see the moisture coming in and the trough advance coming from the south. Let's zoom into that. The moisture coming in from the right, the trough advance from the south, so it's going to be swirling over Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky. So pretty much, and parts of Ohio, this pretty much this whole swirl right here, as I had shown earlier. You see this swirl right here. Just swirling in motion, bringing in that moisture to the East Coast. Alright. Something I had wanted to share. COVID-19 could contribute to the opposite of a baby boom. U.S. births fall and virus could drive them down more. So the U.S. births continue to fall last year, leading to the fewest number of newborns in 35 years. The decline is the latest sign of declining birth rates. So you have fewer births, and the COVID-19 could contribute to the opposite of a baby boom. So be aware of that as well, guys. Things are changing. Alright, the threat of severe storms wraps up today across the high plains from Montana to Texas. Intense updrafts could support very large hail, especially along the eastern Wyoming border. Isolated tornadoes are also possible. So here is a severe outlook for Wednesday. Please be aware if you live in Cheyenne, Alliance, Casper, Rapid City, Williston, Bismarck, Billings, and Great Falls. We have marginal to slight to enhanced possibility of severe weather. Stay aware if you live in that area. Be safe, guys. Alright, there was also an earthquake, a 3.0 earthquake in Hawthorne, Nevada, 6 minutes ago. So a heads up for you guys there. Also, London reports no new coronavirus cases for 24 hours in huge boost. That is great news. London reports no new coronavirus cases for 24 hours. At least some people are staying safe. And also, a 5.0 magnitude earthquake occurred in Sarangani, Philippines, 44.74 miles east-southeast of Sarangani, Philippines. Alright, guys. And here's the King of America, Atnu Thor. He's sharing, can you spot the flooding problem? Look at how many rivers are flooding between Detroit, the Great Plains, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, and parts of Philadelphia and Washington. That is a lot of rivers. This is why we had the dam break, because of all these flooding rivers. Alright, guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless.